It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Can't believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
If you're in the military, maybe you're part of a military family, would it offend you if somebody was dressing in fatigues and making millions on OnlyFans? Does that set you off? It did for a couple of our listeners today. We'll get to Hannah's story in a couple of seconds. Here we go. I did a small amount of home research yesterday because my wife, and by the way, what's the last thing you ordered off of Temu?
Off of Temu?
Yeah.
Probably my tennis shoes. No, we ordered Liam bass kit.
So like fishing lures?
Yeah.
My wife now has discovered that she is able to wait the 19 weeks it takes to get something shipped from a sweatshop in Japan to us or China. And we got...
When they're tennis shoes for $3.99, yes, you wait. And they're nice shoes.
We now have, and I did the count yesterday. I went through my house twice. We now have more pictures of our dog than our family members in our house. She had just received 2 pictures for our main bathroom of a golden doodle sitting on a toilet reading a newspaper.
That's actually funny.
They're kind of cute pictures, but and it's not our golden doodle, but it looks almost exactly like Addison.
Yeah.
There are more pictures in my home now of our dog than there are of our family members.
Then what you need to do is start putting photos up without her knowing and see when she notices of things that you love, because she loves the dog more than you. So what could you put a pool table? You could do a picture of a pool table.
It just, again, I don't think you understand the dynamic in my family. If I went and did something like that, do you understand what would happen? I don't think you do.
No, I don't. I don't live with this level of fear.
And that's why you
fail.
fail. But I was reading this morning that 75% of pet owners say that their pet is the main character in their family.
Really? That's because it brings them joy. Like, why not cherish something that only brings you joy every day?
You mean like your children or your husband?
Does your husband or kids constantly bring you joy?
Yes.
No, they bring you headaches.
I look at these little humans and I am filled with joy, and I look at what their future could be, and I'm filled with pride and anticipation and excitement
for them. Let's tell the bed story that you just told. Headaches. All the time.
It wasn't a headache.
You tell me stories of headaches.
It was an exercise in futility.
I never hear Addison's stories of her giving you headaches.
I don't think I like that dog. I just don't. I don't think I like the dog. And it's great. It's seen my wife through 2 cancers. I get all that. That's her thing. But does anybody else legitimately feel like their pet is the main character in their family? And I thought it would be interesting to ask you, since you guys don't have a pet, who is the main character in your family? It's Derek, you, and Liam. Who is the main character?
Our child. Our child rules our world, our schedule, our life, our bank accounts, our future.
I would think that is the best answer.
And Derek gets mad at me for showing Liam a good time. Like yesterday, he was like, why does he have to go to Valley Fair? I said, because he was going to go for his birthday in July and it flooded. And I wanted to do it before school started. And he's like, can't he just have a boring day? He's like, all I had were boring summer days. Why can't he just have a boring day? Yep. Look at that.
Your husband
wears costumes every day because he had a boring childhood summers and he had to dress up and use his imagination. So I'd rather show my kid a good time than to have him sit at home.
What you're saying is to keep my son from wearing costumes every morning in our front yard in his mid-40s, I'm going to take him to an amusement park.
Yes.
That's the give and the take right there.
I have to do what I have to do.
As you're listening to this real quick, who's the main character in your family? Is it actually your child? Is it a pet?
Mm-hmm.
But 75% of pet owners. This means you own a dog, a cat, a parrot, a raccoon, whatever. That is the main character in your family. That can't be right.
I get the logic with Addison being the main character of your family because she does bring joy to everybody. Like, how often is it a terrible time when she's around. Not often.
Often.
So, no.
This dog gives me anxiety because we bring her out on the boat and all she does is pace. All she does is pace. She's got my wife's level of worry.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, something bad's going to happen. Oh my God. Bird. You know, like that to me is genuinely annoying.
Yeah.
But is your pet the main character in your family? I would love to hear from you. Hey, good morning. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How you guys doing today?
Good. Don't tell me you have a pet that's a main character in your family.
No, I'm a dog breeder. Okay, not personally, but I mean, I own dogs. Yeah.
Thanks for
And
clarifying.
yeah, I don't like any bad thing out there. But anyway, people are pretty whack. They are nowadays. I think more so than ever.
Why is that? Why are people more weird about their pets nowadays?
I don't know, they trust them. I mean, you know, we sell puppies, right? You know, we have family-raised animals, and, you know, we like to think that we do a nice job of bringing them into the world and, you know, find a good home for them. And these people, I had a gal that, no joke, she called every single day. She wanted a picture every day of this dog. And she bought the puppy, okay? We were coming home from the vet, and my wife took a picture of the litter. She bought it right there, you know, before we even got home. So we're talking 8 weeks of this, right? every day. And, you know, my wife started it, and I told her, I go, you just opened up a can of worms there. I'll take care of it. And then she goes, well, I'd really love to come and see Benjamin, you know.
She had already named the dog before she had gotten to purchase the dog.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden she says, well, can I come and visit Benjamin? Absolutely. So the lady comes, you know, we've done this, and, you know, it helps people to bond with their animals and whatnot. They're excited, you know, and I get it. You know, there's been a pretty good chunk of money. We have bulldogs is what we have. So,
Yeah.
So anyway, she comes, she lays on our carpet for 4 hours.
It wasn't a quick 10-minute pop in to see Benjamin. She wanted to like really make herself at home.
And, you know, now by calling the radio station, this is going to become more and more and more common. I'm encouraging everyone to want pictures of their puppy every single day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you checking in. I hope you have a great morning. That was awesome.
Get out with LPP. Can you help me? Get out with LPP. Can you help me? Get out with LPP. Can you help me? Get out with LPP. Everybody!
Other people's problems. Welcome, Brian, to the show because we got an issue at work here, right?
Yeah, it's a complicated situation. You know, we've got, you know, it's just a customer service phone-based job, but he has been drinking quite a bit. You know, I would smell it, and it does seem a little excessive to me. But he's not hurting anybody. Now my wife, though, you know, I tell her about it, and she wants me to turn him in.
What's that going to do for you, though?
Again,
like, if you turn him in, what is that? This, again, I've said it a trillion times. Watch your bobber. Like, I don't think this is any of your business.
Can he get hurt on the job? Could he cause somebody else to get hurt on the job?
Yeah, we're not operating heavy machinery or anything. He's just, you know, talking to people, and it might help loosen him up to talk to people a little bit better, you know? So I don't think he's hurting anybody.
Are you kind of mad about this, or is your wife mad about this because you don't get to booze at work, or you're choosing not to drink on the job?
That could be part of it. Yeah, that could be part of it, you know? And my wife obviously wants to have her hand in every dish, so I'm just... It just kind of pisses me off a little bit.
Yeah, I get that. What would you do here, Kat? Like, if you, and I appreciate it, Brian. Hang on a quick second. I want to get everyone's thoughts on this. What would you do if you knew that some of our coworkers are coming in here and they're able to smoke up or drink up before their show? And we have like one business that it's almost socially acceptable to have a couple of, like, back in the day when I first started in radio,
Nose candy was a thing.
cocaine
before a
was
shift.
everywhere. I had guys that literally were two different people on the air and off the air because they would hit the pipe real quick before they got on the air.
That's a chemical dependency,
They became amazing entertainers.
though. Yeah.
And then once they got off the air and they lost their buzz, they were the most boring people in the world. But would that bother you if you knew that some of the afternoon people that were in here were having a couple of lunch beers and then coming in and doing their show about half sauce? Would that make a difference to you at all?
I think if it were if it were on this station and they were putting us in jeopardy, absolutely, and giving us a bad name, yeah. We work pretty hard to we love our listeners and to undo that.
Success doesn't come easy, and I get that. You don't want to undo that. But that would actually bother you if you found out that people now if they were on other radio stations our company owns, you wouldn't care.
I would, because it's the greater good. It's called an ESOP. Like, I have money invested into it as well. But if they're acting a fool, I would say, why are they allowed to do certain things?
What if they're not acting a fool? What if they're just coming in half sauced?
Then how would we even know if they're not?
Well, he said he could smell it. And he can tell that the guy is, now, again, not hurting anyone, doing a customer service job on the phone. What if his job doesn't suffer at all, but he's having a couple of cocktails at work and then maybe going out to his car and taking a couple of pulls off of Fifth at lunch? Listen, I get it. If you're having to do that at work, there's obviously a problem. But would it bother you?
Until it affects me, it probably wouldn't bother me. But if I do see it affect me in even just a small amount, I know that a bigger amount is coming.
So what would you do? Would you turn them in?
I'd probably insinuate to them that, something might be coming if you don't get it together. You got to figure it out, because I'm watching you. I see what's going on. Other people notice. I think when people realize that others are onto them, maybe it would cause them to change their ways.
If you value your employment.
Right.
Yeah, I get that. How would you handle this, though, as you're listening to this? If you're working with Brian and you're having a couple of drinks before work, maybe in the parking lot, maybe you got the afternoon shift, right? And you're kind of spending the time at home during the day, have a lunch beer, maybe take a quick pull of Jameson before you come into work, or bring in some Baileys in your coffee or something like that.
Okay.
And you're kind of making your way through the day like you're working almost at a bar, not hurting anyone, taking an Uber home or taking the bus home.
I know he calls people for a living, but if you have to operate heavy machinery, it's not a problem until it's a problem, until you run into somebody. You didn't see somebody because you're seeing double. Something could happen.
Would this bother you?
Bingo! How fun!
Last week, someone lost an eye at bingo. Bingo!
Bingo what bingo? Bingo! Bingo!
All right, here's how listener bingo works. Kat and I each are looking for somebody who's got a specific trait or a quality. Like maybe you're somebody listening who
got in trouble for wearing something that you probably shouldn't have at school. I remember this kid who was so young. He probably just found the shirt in his mom's closet, but it was a Marlboro shirt. And she probably got it with her points.
Right.
And
She smoked enough cigarettes where she got a free shirt.
Yeah, 4th grade, and he came to school, and they're like, you can't wear those cigarette shirt. But this woman went to TikTok. She went to Zara, and she was looking at clothing for her kids for back to school. And she saw in the girls section, there is a shirt with 2 strawberries, and it says, take a bite. And she's like, it makes me physically sick.
I'm so shocked. Take a bite. Is it just me, or is this just not okay? I would never have my girls in this t-shirt. I mean, is it just me, or is this just plain wrong in plain sight?
It's just you.
Yeah, and Zara's saying, listen, it's a literal strawberry. It is not
They're
insinuating.
pulling the shirts now because of this backlash.
I know. So you got in trouble for wearing something that you shouldn't have to school.
I'm going to go with anyone listening who has never eaten fast food. So we're wrapping up football practice last night, right? And as we're kind of putting all the stuff away and everybody's kind of making their way off the field, you usually hear the boys saying, oh, we're going to go to Chipotle, or hey, we're going to go to Chick-fil-A or something like that. And I'm not going to call this kid out, but one kid goes, they're like, you're going to come with? And he's like, no. And they're like, why? Why won't you come with us? And he's like, well, I've never really had fast food before.
Oh, wow.
And as we're walking out, I go, wait, you've never had fast food? He goes, no, my parents won't allow it. He's 17.
It's all right.
I'm not saying it's not all right.
House choice.
But at 17, don't you want to have some chicken nuggets or a chicken sandwich or
you don't miss what you've never had.
I suppose. It just was really shocking to me. I mean, most of us, life gets busy. You at least do a drive-through, at least get a sub or something like that, right?
Are they teaching him that there are good ones and bad ones? Because you can go to Subway and get a good one. You can go to Chipotle and get a good drive-through.
Well, I think it's all okay if you do it in moderation, but if you're doing it every day, obviously you know the impact of it. But I'm going to look for anyone listening who, like this guy, has never had fast food in their life. Or
Wow.
maybe you're somebody listening
Who got in trouble for wearing something that you should not have? It was crazy.
All right, Sandy, you get the bingo this morning. Which one do you fit, though?
Fit you.
Oh, mine. Okay, so what did you wear to school and you got in trouble?
I wore a crop top that said "Got Milk."
Ah, there it is.
Oh my God, what grade was this?
Was in about 8th grade.
Oh my God, who let you leave the house like that?
It was your older sister's shirt.
Was
Yeah, but that was the age when everyone was wearing the Got Milk shirts, and you probably just cut the tummy off.
And were you one of those early bloomers?
yeah.
Okay, so
I don't know if you can ask that. That's
sure
gross.
you can. I'm trying to put it in
Yeah, that's
perspective.
appropriate.
So, like, did the boys comment on it, or did one of the teachers catch it first?
The principal caught it.
Okay, and so you're just parading around in a crop top as you're developing young with the words "got milk."
That's when you turn it on them, and you're like, "What are you even talking about? Like milk, like from a
There you go.
cow?"
Never thought about that.
Yeah.
So, what did they make you do? Did they make you go home, or did they give you one of those like
He made me
public domain
take,
shirts?
a shirt from the nurse's office.
Yep. And they
And-
always stunk.
Well, they were in a box for 6 months at a time.
Beside the word.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Wayne,
right.
thanks for checking back in again. We appreciate it. I hope you have a great day today.
Bye-bye.
It would be our extreme pleasure to hand you $3,000 Wednesday morning during our live show. So if you can get up early with us about 6:30, we're going to give you an opportunity to just utter 5 words, and those 5 words could get you $3,000. Again, that's 6:30 Wednesday morning on KCLD. Right now, we put a cap on the podcast.
Hit me with the free money.
Morning, Shelby. We caught you a little off guard by saying you were calling number 10, didn't we?
You definitely did.
You just woke up. Why'd you sleep in? This is like 4 hours past when we wake up.
Hey, I didn't just wake up. I'm on my way to work.
Oh,
What do
didn't
you
she
mean?
say I just woke up? I thought you did.
No, I said I broke out.
Oh, you broke out.
I got you. What do you do for a living?
I work in social work.
Imagine if you got to work today and nothing worked. What would you do?
All the social was broken.
I don't know. I would just roll with it because that's how I feel every single day at work.
Don't need that kind of positivity around here. I'm really working on one. So the game is pretty simple. It's called Coulda, Shoulda, Woulda, Shelby. First thing you've got to do is decide who gives you the best chance at winning $2,000 right now, Kat or me?
I'm going to go with Kat with the opposites business that she does.
I'll
Let's see if this
remember
works.
that.
All right, so simple enough. We'll kick Kat out of the studio. And while we're waiting for her to get up the stairs, I'll explain to you how this works. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a word. All you have to do is pop off the first word that pops into your mind when you hear these words. And if Kat gives us the same exact answers when she comes back, then you find yourself $2,000. Richard, I always like to ask, what do you want to spend this money on? There's got to be something. When you started dialing, you were like, if I win $2,000, I'm spending it on.
Oh, man. I don't know. I might, put it away for Christmas or something, good like that.
It's a really great idea. I like that. So without further ado, Shelby, here come your 5 words. What is the first word that pops into your mind when you hear the word push?
Shove.
What's the first word that pops into your mind when you hear ski, S-K-I?
Hill.
And the first word that pops into your mind, Shelby, when you hear color, C-O-L-O-R?
Oh, my gosh. Color. Dark. Oh, man. I don't know.
How about the first word that pops into your mind, Shelby, when you hear cow?
Moo.
That was mine, too. And last one, what is the first word that pops into your mind when you hear stomach?
Food.
Okay, good enough. Kat, come on back in. As she makes her way back into the studio, we will remind you that if you match every single word with her, you are $2,000 richer, and your Christmas just started looking a whole lot better. So,
it's holiday money?
yeah, she's going to squirrel it away. She's going to make sure her family has an amazing Christmas. So, without further ado, Kat, the pressure is on. Let's go.
All right. Opposite.
Kat, what is the first word that pops into your mind when you hear push?
Pull.
I knew it.
What? What did you say? Pull is opposite.
She wanted to go all these opposites, and the first word I gave her, she said shove.
Oh, my God. All right.
Messed up.
Baby Jesus is so disappointed in you right now, Shelby. Kat, what's the
It's
first
fine.
word?
I knew we were going to lose it on the other one anyways.
There are a couple in here that I didn't think you were going to win with. Let's get to those right now. Kat, what's the first word that pops into your mind when you hear ski, S-K-I?
Ski, slope. Ski hill.
Hill is what she went with, yeah. How about the first word that pops into your mind when you hear, this is the one that she took forever to answer. What's the first word you think of when you hear color?
Color? C-O-L-O-R. Color. Crayon.
Yeah, I would have thought crayon too. Our friend Shelby
I was
here
gonna say blue.
thought the best word to associate with color is dark.
Dark
I was
color.
going opposite there. You know, colorful, dark.
I don't know if you know what opposite means.
Apparently not. Apparently not.
Kat, how
right.
about the first word you think of when you hear cow?
Milk. Moo.
Moo is what she said.
Moo. Okay.
And finally, let's go 5 for 5
Yeah,
on
let's
the
do it.
busted
5
show
for 5
topic
on
here.
God.
What's the first word, Kat, that you think of when you hear the word stomach?
Stomach ache.
Well, I'm of the
You know, it's a
opinion.
good thing it was for Christmas and it's like theoretical.
Well, I think Christmas is going to happen either way, Shelby.
I don't know if you know what theoretical means.
I have a friend named Megan who's a single mom. She has
Who
her
works 2 jobs?
No, she does well, so it's not that, but she posts almost everything that happens to her one child online, and the kid is in preschool.
Okay.
And yesterday, her son got written up because he took breakfast from another kid and threw it on the floor. And so when she went to pick up her son, they said, hey, we had a little incident yesterday with Brendan, and here's what happened. And she had posted how she's like trying to struggle. She's struggling with him because he doesn't have any siblings to learn, like, hey, don't grab someone else's food and throw it on the floor if they make you mad or whatever. And I was like, I wanted to bounce this off you because having one child, did you go through any of that kind of stuff with Liam where he didn't really know because he didn't have older siblings, that cadence?
No, he did not do anything terrible like that. Or I wouldn't even say that's terrible. It's a kid. You know, sometimes it's just growing pains and them learning what is acceptable or not. Later on in school, so this was like, I think 4th grade, I got a phone call from the principal, and it was because this girl was feeling some sort of way about him not liking her appearance. And so she had dyed her hair blue, and she simply asked my son, do you like my hair? And he said, blue's not really my color. Which,
that's the most kind way a child could react.
When I got him in the car, I said, dude, you are totally entitled to not like someone's blue hair. It is what it is.
What would you say if a coworker asked you right now? You'd lie. That's what adults do.
I'd go,
lie.
ooh, you look funky. You know, I'd do something like that. I probably
And then as soon as they turned away, you'd be like, goo.
I would. And that's kind of what I taught him. Like, you know, I think maybe she was looking for just like maybe a nicer comment. But then I'm like, who am I to say, don't comment on your true feelings? Like, she should have been like told it's okay. Not everybody is going to love this hue of hair, you know? And that was kind of the only one. But
that's the, my youngest son got written up because he was running an underground arm wrestling
I remember
fight
that.
club situation in kindergarten and taking advantage of some of the older kids. And then when we went to parent-teacher conferences, his teacher walked us out to his locker and opened up his backpack. And he had like $40 in there that he had been hustling kids off of.
Wasn't he doing it for like Cheetos too?
Yeah.
Or was that Peyton? Peyton
was
like
doing that,
Cheetos.
yeah. And then at one time, You know how, like, when people are large, you're not supposed to make any comments, right?
Correct.
And when people are super skinny, you don't make any comments. And Peyton had, in like first grade, we got a note sent home, and it was because he had asked this girl if his mom was sick. Oh. Well, she's a marathon runner. She's got like 1% body fat.
Yeah.
And Trish and I aren't exactly the leanest humans, and nobody in his life is like a marathon runner.
Right.
And so he just asked this girl that was in his class, he's like, is everything okay? Is your mom sick?
Oh.
And she went home and said, Mom, this kid in my class thinks you're sick. And Mom took offense to it.
Oh, my God.
Told the daughter to go back and say something to the teacher. So he got written up. And it was really, he was just kind of like, he wasn't like, oh, she looks like she's on crack.
Right.
You know, he was just like, is she sick? He was just concerned.
And what do I always say? Marathon runners have no sense of humor at all.
You don't think so? I think that's part of the fat when they lose it.
They lost it. They left it on the road. I have never met a marathon runner that is like fun or funny to hang out with, you know.
Well, they're dedicated to their craft.
Yeah. Oh, we were driving behind a car on this past weekend coming back from grocery shopping, and Liam's like, what's 26.2? I said, that's a marathon runner. And they'll never not talk about it.
When my wife finished hers, she had one of those stickers on her car. And the only way we got rid of the stickers, we had to get rid of the car.
Yeah.
And she had one of the Ragnar ones on there as well. Mm-hmm. But see, like, I know the pain that she went through to do that. So when I see it, I have this genuine respect because you have to dedicate a lot of time to that.
I do not think that they don't dedicate a lot of their time and have diligence and don't do a great job to reach their goal. I know that it takes a lot of hard work, but it's just so funny.
This isn't where I wanted to go with this, but this is what I would like to do right now is who will always tell. So we already know it's vegans, Marines, marathoners. Mm-hmm. Who else will always tell you about their situation?
I think a hardcore coffee person like my younger brother, Michael, was into the French press for a long time. And that
so he'll shame you if you just give him a K cup?
Super annoying. Yeah. I think one day I brought over like a Starbucks and he was like,
he scoffed at it?
Yeah. And it made me feel a certain way. I was like, excuse you, sir. You went to public school too. And now you have a French press and now you're better than me? I don't think so.
Okay. So if we take Marines, marathon runners, and vegans or vegetarians out of the mix, who else will always CrossFitters. Mm-hmm. CrossFitters will always tell you about it.
Yeah.
Marathon runners.
How many tires did you flip today?
Who else will always tell you about that part of their lifestyle? It'll come up no matter what. Katie said bodybuilders. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, but the thing is, you notice it before they have to tell you.
Yeah.
Right? Because they always wear something where they're just always, veins are popped out. You got huge muscles everywhere.
This is so funny. ICU nurses, we have a story for you. We were in Mexico and there was a woman. Did she fall and hit her head on the side of the pool?
Yeah.
She wasn't with our party, but we had so many nurses with us on that party Plane to Paradise that it was almost a fight to see who was the better nurse. And they were like, move. I'm a nurse. No, I'm a nurse in this part of the hospital. No, I know what to do.
Was that the one where my brother-in-law, who's a doctor, just went, man, grabbed another drink as they turned his back?
I think so.
I think so, too.
I think so.
So who else will always tell you about that?
Any Ivy League grad, said Eric.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Derek said people going through sobriety. You know, I'm going to give them a mulligan because that is like that's a daily struggle.
I've never had that. I've had people go, no thanks, I'm sober.
Yeah.
Or no thanks, I haven't had a drink in so many years.
That's so true. I don't really run into people that, and I live with somebody that is 19 years
does Derek
sober.
say that all the time to people?
Never. Not once.
Thanks for making us part of your morning routine. I wanted to play back Hannah's phone call. So when we talked to her the first time, I was just kind of like, all right, good, you're making your money. And then after I listened back to it, I was like, I would bet some people are going to get angry about this. And when she had texted, she just kind of mentioned, I got my dream job. And so that's what I asked her when she called.
I did. And I love this dream job because I don't have to go into any workplace or deal with that kind of thing.
So you work remotely. A lot of people enjoy that.
Yeah, I do work remotely. There's no commute. I don't have to drive in. I don't have an annoying boss, thank goodness.
Well, I'm interested. What's the job?
Well, I actually started on OnlyFans.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
We talk about this every once in a while that you really have to. There are a lot of people on OnlyFans. You have to do something to stand out.
Yes, I have my own thing. I never get naked. I'm not about that. I love this job because all I have to do is dress up in a sexy military uniform and, do my thing.
So you're like one day you're a sexy soldier, the next day you're a sexy pilot, the next day you're a sexy, in a Navy outfit and stuff like that. That's what you're doing?
Exactly. The Navy one I would say is my most popular, but yes, exactly.
All right. And I'm assuming you can just go online and grab these uniforms. You don't actually have to go to like a surplus store or anything?
Oh, no. This is easily available online. It costs like $20, and they actually look pretty good, if I might say so myself.
Yeah.
Can we ask that since this is your dream job and you don't have to go into a job anymore, how much you're making?
I actually make $100,000 a year.
Wow.
Oh, my God. And I wouldn't even have to get naked.
So you're telling me you wake up, you do your hair, you do your makeup, and you do... How many videos a day do you think you're making for the gentlemen that are into this or the ladies?
I do about 3 a day. I do take some days off, but I generally do about 3 a day on the days I'm working. I can do it from anywhere, which is nice. I can be on vacation, and as long as I pack my uniforms with me, we're all good.
Have you run into any problem with people saying don't besmirch the uniform?
Oh, good call.
Like anybody not agreeing with your style of clothing for these?
I obviously have haters. Everybody does. But I just tell them you don't need to subscribe if you're not about it.
So that's where I was like, all right. So she's making her money. But if you have a strong military background, is this the least bit offensive?
I don't think it's as offensive as somebody that would go to a surplus store and get an army jacket and then go try to get a free breakfast on Veterans Day.
You're right. She's not asking for
pretty
anything
low.
for free, right? I agree.
But it's also like, this is a free will situation. You don't have to find yourself to OnlyFans, which I feel like is kind of like an old route to go. Don't you? Like OnlyFans was huge a few years ago, and now to trickle in, you have a lot of competition on that website. But I mean, if these men are going to go there and spend a ton of money just to see her dressed up in a naval uniform, that's their prerogative.
I think it's when you get I think guys are willing to pay extra when it's like a personalized thing. Like if she was going to make one for Derek, it would be like, hey, Derek, it's Hannah.
Hey, boyfriend.
Do you really like this?
Right.
This is my sexy sailor. And I was thinking about you last night. Like, I think that's what they're paying for. I don't think they're just paying to see, something you see on like the Sports Illustrated website or something like that.
Some people might have a problem with the uniform situation, but I don't think they will as much as you think that they might. I mean, it's not that big of a deal for me.
Let's say all of our equipment continues to crash here today.
Yeah.
And by the end of the week, you're at wit's end, and somebody says all you have to do is put on some fatigues and parade around for $100,000 a year and make 3 videos a day. Are you quitting Friday?
If it meant that much money and no clothes off, probably.
You ever wake up and then go, after a night of not drinking, do you ever wake up and be like, why does this hurt?
That is me today. Like, I know that I had no time to think until I got to my beach chair yesterday. And then I shut my eyes and the sun was on me. And I was like, oh my God. I just went through like 11 hours of constant thinking, moving, planning. And then you have one moment. And then I had to keep going after that to get us home and get them food. And then like waking up this morning, I feel hungover. I don't know why.
I am so sore. Yesterday was our first day of full pads football practice, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not old enough yet where I just kind of stand there and tell the guys what to do. I like to be part of every play. Like I like to be part of the defense and, at least get some contact with the guys. Because I still have I always tell my kids, there's something in the basement. Like I feel like I still got something left to give. And I woke up this morning and I feel like I got hit by a semi.
Yeah.
Like my body, my wrists are sore, my ankles are sore, my fingers are all jammed. Every single finger I have is jammed.
You know what you need? you need a sauna.
I don't know if a
Mine comes
sauna's going to help on this
tomorrow.
one, but I'm just waking up feeling beat up. And I didn't even have pads on. Now, maybe I should put pads on, but it's just ridiculous.
When you do stuff like that, it looks like you're trying to prove something. Put the pads on.
No,
You
I'm
make
not.
them
No
wear them.
coach wears pads. But it's just being able to get a little contact. And like, I tell the guys, don't go easy on me, right? Like, because we're trying to get game ready here. Our first game is in less than 2 weeks. I'm like, you got to go hard. Like, play like I'm an actual defender. And sometimes they do the right thing, and it doesn't hurt then. But I woke up this morning, and I walked down the stairs, and I went, wait, what is all of this? Like, it just got old manny so fast. And I don't know how to stop that other than by being more active all the time. But, man, I literally feel like I belong in a home. I would be okay today. You know the picture of you in the airport getting pushed around in the wheelchair?
Yeah, we know.
I would be really okay if somebody just pushed me around today.
I went to book club the day you posted that, and one of them asked if that was really me. If
They thought it was AI?
I don't know if AI has the capability of creating what I looked like.
It's not
but
there yet. It'll get
you
there.
feel like what I looked like. I get what you're saying. I want to talk about, we're starting the planning process for our January trip to Winter Park, Colorado. We're going with 3 families. I've never gone on a vacation
You're gonna
with
be
other
miserable.
families. I don't think I'm going to be miserable. I think we've picked like-minded people, but Derek is very upset with the agenda. And I'm going to have to go over it with him and prep him.
Do you think you're over preparing for this?
If you fail to plan, you're just planning to fail. I made that up. You can steal that.
You didn't
But-
make that up.
Sure, I did.
I've heard that a million times.
But from me.
No.
But our meeting is happening next. We've had like little mini text meetings, but we're doing our huge planning meeting next week. And I'm going to tell you some of the stuff that I know is going to trip up Derek. But I want to know what kind of vacationer you are. Are you one of those that doesn't want to do a damn thing because you are on vacation? You want to eat and you want to sit.
This level of planning gave me a little anxiety, knowing that you're trying to plan out every minute of your ski trip to Colorado, and that not only are you planning out every minute, but you're having to have a planning meeting. You're having to plan a planning meeting.
So we're going to have wine.
I get that if you want to get together with your buddies and be like, what do you want to do while we're in Colorado? But like,
We just want to be in the same place instead of all this like group texting, all 3 of us moms. And the kids are all friends. All the parents are normal.
can't you just get
I'm
there
excited.
and go?
No, you can't do that.
We did it.
You can't do that. We have actually some deals that are on the website right now for like 30% off your day of skiing. So we want to make sure that we all pick the day of skiing. However, the dad of or the husband of one of the wives that's going has to have first tracks, last tracks. He's like a major skier. So he wants first tracks in the morning and he wants to ski every single day, which is fine. This is his vacation too. But we are getting together to plan out a semi-solid agenda. And Derek's like,
work.
I don't want to do all that. I want to sit in the hot tub. I want to drink hot chocolate. I want to go by bonfires. And I'm like, we can do all of that.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that when you're on vacation, you should be doing things you can't do here.
And that's what we will be doing. But like, we're going to go snowshoeing at twilight at the top of the
You'll never do
mountain.
that. You'll never do that.
We already booked our tickets.
You'll never do it.
We already booked our tickets.
Doesn't mean you're going to do it.
It's going to be incredible and beautiful. Shopping, of course, I will do that. Snowmobiling, a couple of the guys are going to go snowmobiling, which is kind of expensive. So I said no. Tubing.
Hold on. You get to do whatever you want unless my wife says it's too expensive.
Right.
Got it.
Bowling. There's a cool bowling
Can't
alley.
do that here.
Karaoke. We're going to do some karaoke. Lunch at the top of the mountain. That's going to be cool. Take a huge gondola up there. And then we'll do hot tubbing. We'll do s'mores and stuff like that. But
It's too much planning.
if you have 3 families, 10 people total, everyone should know what's going on, or else you're going to be like that girls trip I took where you'd walk 1 block and then everyone would stand there like, oh, what do we do now? Where do we go now? It'd waste so much time asking those questions.
What's wrong with just saying, hey, guys, here's the deal. 7 a.m., everybody up. I'll have breakfast cooked and coffee on by 8. And then, as we're eating breakfast, why don't we decide what we want to do today?
So
What's wrong
spur
with
of the
that?
moment planning rather than planning ahead so we know what we're doing. That sounds like a waste of time, those conversations. How does that not compute?
I don't know. That's the way we always do it. It's what do you?
Wow, what a waste
Which
of
way does the
time.
wind want to blow you? Let it go, man. You're
This is a
over
good note
prepping
to
this thing.
self. Good note to self.
I'm with Derek on this. I think you're doing too much.
The no planning are for trips like Party Plane to Paradise. I don't plan a GD thing on
Some
those
people
trips.
plan out their entire thing when they go with us.
And that's fine. That's fine if they want to do excursions. But I look at it like this is one of those where we only have a limited amount of time. We're only there for like 4 days.
Here's what you're not planning on, by the way. At least, and how many kids are going on this trip? You have 3
4.
families, 4 kids. At least one of those kids every day will be sick from either altitude sickness. They'll catch a cold on the plane. They'll be puking all over the place.
Knock on wood.
It's gonna. Oh, your kid will be sick one of the days, guaranteed.
I'm sure he will with his
And
asthma.
so,
Yeah.
what's gonna kill you is that you just spent $400 on lift tickets, and he's not gonna go that day that you had planned because he's sick. That's gonna ruin your vacation. Instead of, hey, what do you guys want to do today? Boom, boom, boom. Yep, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And here's the deal: you got a computer in your purse. All you've got to do is jump online and go, yep, we can do this. And I guarantee this is a touristy place. So everything they have is going to be catered to tourists where you can walk up, you can grab skis and poles, you can get your lift ticket
But
right
it's
there.
10 times more expensive if you do a walk up. That's the thing. Right now we're saving 30%. So then we can do other fun stuff with that money, like shop or other fun stuff like shop. You know? And Megan is siding with me. She's a major planner like myself. And it's true. Like, who wants to go into stuff blind? That's
I
annoying.
get it. Like when we go to Chicago, we'll buy tickets for baseball games, but everything else is where does the wind take us?
And that's okay. That's fine. That's Chicago. Like, you can really only do so much in Chicago.
Oh my God, you can do so much.
You can eat, you can go to baseball games, and you can shop. And you can go to the aquarium. What else do you do in Chicago?
The Bean, walk.
You go to the Bean every time.
Oh, my wife has to go to the Bean every freaking time.
She
every
does?
freaking time. Guys,
Weird.
we should get a picture with the Bean. Okay. Great. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm happy that we're having this meeting because it has to be done. And then I'm going to go on Canva and I'm going to create itinerary.
All of this makes me
Oh my God, how cute.